Something you should be very concerned with, right? That when people have been found to have an incomplete or inaccurate finance report,
Sir,
that the Secretary of State...
in the way that you're asking questions in a manner that doesn't support...
Not the way you want? It doesn't support a response as to why you do this.
As when you're attempting to ask such slanted questions.
What's slanted about a question of what are the steps you take to make sure people file proper amended reports? What's slanted about that question? So while at the Ohio Election Commission meeting on October 9th, lo and behold, BRIAN KATZ from the Secretary of State's office appears in the room. BRIAN KATZ is, to me, not a protector of election integrity. His title's something about election integrity. The guy's a weasel that avoids any sort of answering of any questions and just seems to be like a slime ball that protects insiders, and which is basically what LaRose's office seems to do. Some time ago, I contacted the Secretary of State's office about how does a candidate fix a report when the Election Commission determines that the report was invalid after the candidate has terminated their committee. So how do they do that? When it's on the online system of the Secretary of State. That is exactly the ALLAN FREEMAN scenario. His reports were found to be incomplete and inaccurate. He's never filed amended reports, and the Secretary of State's office doesn't even know how somebody would do that. But they should absolutely have to do that. If they're found guilty here, they're found a violation and their reports were inaccurate and incomplete, they should fix those reports, right? Common sense. But BRIAN KATZ evades that question. The Secretary of State's office, I contacted him probably 3-4 months ago and have a series of audio and video of me contacting him about how this process works. Since BRIAN KATZ was here today, I took the opportunity to question the little weasel. He's not on camera, but you'll be able to hear everything I said to him, and I'll put up a picture of him sitting there with some other person from the Secretary of State's office, and you'll get a real flavor for just what a snarky weasel this guy is. Hey, Mr. Katz, how you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. How about you?
I'm good. Can you take some questions after this about what the Secretary of State's office does to get amended reports from people when they've been adjudicated here as having a improper report?
So I'm happy to put you in touch with our media team that handles reporters' questions, but I don't speak to the press.
Why don't you speak to the press?
Thank you, though.
Why are you afraid to speak to the press? I've already contacted your office multiple times. I have a lot of video and audio recording of people giving me the runaround that you don't even know how you would get them to get an amended report. Another issue that comes up that Frank LaRose doesn't bother to mention, because his office is often complicit in improper and inappropriate campaign finance reporting and protecting institutional politicians. One of the things that he never mentions is how his office treats findings by the Ohio Election Commission. And I'll give an example. ALLAN FREEMAN was found by the Ohio Election Commission to have not reported $140,000 of media contributions done by Constant Content, a corporation. When that was taking place, it was case, I believe, 2020 G019. Freeman's attorney, Don Bray, a very unethical man, tried to shut down Freeman's committee and then claimed that because the committee had been shut down, that the Ohio Election Commission had no jurisdiction. So the committee sits there shut down. The finding against ALLAN FREEMAN was that he did not file a complete and accurate report, and he did not include the $140,000 that should have been included. But now he ended up with a shutdown committee, and the Secretary of State's office does absolutely nothing to get corrected campaign finance reporting after a finding of the Ohio Election Commission. It's happened with me in several cases. The ALLAN FREEMAN case is the biggest and best example because of the fact that the fine is high, the amount of money is high, and if ALLAN FREEMAN were to report this, it would reveal a felony, which is a felony equivalent, because he would be reporting that he had accepted a corporate campaign contribution. And I'm going to play just an excerpt of me asking Joe a question and his response. This is almost 3 weeks ago.
System for filing campaign finance reports, not obviously that you guys would run versus the Board of Elections. If if you have filed a termination, and then after you file the termination, you realize that a report needs to be amended, can you just file the amendment even though it's been terminated, or what do you do?
I guess you could try. I've never had anyone ask that question. Normally, once we get a termination, we mark the committee inactive, so I don't know if our system would let you. To be honest, we might have to. You would maybe have to request us to put the committee active.
So just as a reminder, every time the Election Commission has a finding against somebody of not filing a complete and accurate report that uses the online campaign finance system that the Secretary of State runs, they should inherently have to file an amendment to correct the incomplete and inaccurate report. But here we are, they have no idea. Let's keep playing.
Just so you could do it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, like I said, I've never had that question, so I'm not sure. That might have to be something I'd have to hunt to like our IT or something to see what they say.
So aren't you the director?
Which cases bring you out today?
All of them, because the preliminary reviews, there's currently a court order, a court decision that they can't give fines during preliminary reviews, so that that people cannot be given a fine unless they've had the opportunity to call witnesses, and their accuser has to be present. It's called due process.
Oh, thank you.
So, are you aware of that? Are you aware of the case?
Sir, if you'd like to talk to the Secretary of State's office, I'm happy to put you in touch with the individual.
So why don't you write who the person is on there so I know who to contact, because I think you're just giving me the runaround. I can head over there after this, okay? So you could let them know. I'll give you another card so you can let them know to be, since I'm in Columbus today.
BEN Kindel, B. Kindel.
Does he have a phone number?
I don't think he has a direct phone number.
Have it on me.
I can give you the phone number for the office if you'd
Okay,
like to.
let's put that on there. I just want to document well the runaround. Something you should be very concerned with, right? That when people have been found to have an incomplete or inaccurate finance report, that the Secretary of State...
In the way that you're asking questions in a manner that doesn't support...
Not the way you want? It doesn't support a response to the way you do this.
As when you're attempting to ask such slanted questions.
What's slanted about a question of what are the steps you take to make sure people file proper amended reports? What's slanted about that question? What's slanted about that
I'll get you
question?
the phone number so that way you can.
Here, so you can let Mr. Kindle know that I'll be heading over there.
I would do so.
Here, do you want me to write it down for you?
Yeah, here you go. Hold on.
Yeah.
By the way, are there candidates other than Jean Schmidt that you give personal advice to on the weekend about their campaign finance filings?
So you had a call with Mr. Katz on a Saturday, according to this, 1/29/2022. So that was on a personal mobile, or was he in the office that day?
No objection, Your Honor, in terms of, how she talked to him on a mobile on a Saturday.
I think I can ask how the conversation took place that's in your exhibit. I'm asking questions about your exhibit, not mine.
The exhibit speaks for itself.
As I've said, we had multiple conversations. I do not believe they were on a mobile. I think they were in the office. And I may have left him a message saying, you've got to help us with this. And he may have called me back on a Saturday. As other people in the governor's office call me on matters on a Saturday. That is not out of the ordinary to have happen. That wasn't the first time I had contacted Mr. Katz. We wanted to get it done right. And you're correct, they say they won't give you legal advice. But I say, well, where do I put this on here? Go look here, go look here, go look here.
Did you at any time contact anybody, or I know you don't file there, but anybody in the Claremont County Board of Elections?
No.
Okay. And so how often do you talk to Mr. Katz?
Well, the only time I talked to him was during this issue.
Okay. And you believe he was in the office when he talked to you on
I
the
have no
Saturday?
idea how he talked to me. I didn't pay attention.
Well, I'm just answering, you just said that. You said you thought office. I'm just asking you to clarify.
I don't know. I don't know whether he called me on a mobile or on his office phone. I didn't pay attention to the call.
Who initiated the call?
I initiated the call.
So it wasn't him responding to a voicemail?
No, I initiated the call through the Secretary of State's office.
So you dialed the Secretary of State office number or his personal number?
The
Or you don't
Secretary-
remember?
No. Eventually I had his direct line, I'm sure, but no.
Because I thought you guys were that you don't give legal advice to candidates. Remember, she testified that you had told her that she
Save
was.
you some time, sir. I won't be answering any more questions from you today.
Do you ever answer questions? Have you ever done an interview?
Here's this, why don't you just give them a phone call, so that way that.
No, I'll head over there. I'll head over. Thanks.
You might want to schedule an appointment with him.
I'll head over. I've contacted the office multiple times about the same matter. You guys are trying to cover for politicians that are on the dream team. So in that interchange, you heard BRIAN KATZ tell me that I should go talk to their media person, BEN KINDEL. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm standing in the lobby of the Ohio Secretary of State's office, and as BRIAN KATZ instructed, I'm looking for BEN KINDEL. I asked the gentleman at the desk, and he asked me if I had an appointment. I guess there's no actual lobby, but I looked online, and BEN KINDEL has a number online that's different than the number that was given to me by BRIAN KATZ and the woman that was with him. But let's go ahead and give it a call and see if I get BEN KINDEL.
Hi, you've reached BEN KINDEL. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I'll get back to you.
Hey, Ben, my name is Chris Hicks with the Watchdog Wire, and we've been doing an investigation for several months now relating to what happens when the Election Commission finds that reports are inaccurate and incomplete that are filed with the Secretary of State. What actions are taken to get those reports corrected? And I happened to bump into BRIAN KATZ. He's a very elusive character, and he told me that I should talk to you about that subject. And so I'm in the lobby of your building right now. Since I'm in Columbus, I thought I would stop over. And I just called your number off of the webpage. Maybe I'll stay here for a few minutes. If you could please call me back at 513-289-4341. That's 513-289-4341. Again, I've been doing an investigation for probably 3 or 4 months of a lot of audio and video of people not knowing what to do in this situation from the Secretary of State's office. So I want to give every chance for the office to clear up why it is that it seems to do nothing to get reports corrected that have been found to be incomplete and inaccurate by the Election Commission. Thank you. So they gave me a number that's different than the number he has online. So I'm going to try the number that BRIAN KATZ and the woman that was with him gave me to call.
Hello, I'm Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose. Thank you so much for calling our office. Did you know that you can register to vote, update your voter registration address, and start your new Ohio business all online? Please go to ohiosos.gov for more.
A few moments later.
Thank you for calling the Ohio Secretary of State's office. How can I help you?
I'm trying to get in touch with BEN KINDEL. BRIAN KATZ told me that I should get in touch. I'm with the media. I'm in your lobby right now.
Okay, just 1 second, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I can get you connected over.
All right, thank you.
A few moments later.
The person you are trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone. When you have finished, please hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Hey, I don't know if this is BEN KINDEL, but they said they were transferring me, and the greeting doesn't say who it is. But Ben, this is Chris Hicks. I left a message on another number, on your number that is online. This is a number I called that BRIAN KATZ gave me to call. I'm here with the media, and we're doing a story. We've been doing an investigation into how you guys get reports, finance filings for candidates that are deemed inaccurate and incomplete by the Election Commission, how you go about getting them fixed. and how somebody even does that if they have terminated their committee on your system. I'm at 513-289-4341. Again, 513-289-4341. And there should be no surprise. It's been 3 or 4 months that these inquiries have been being made. I'm in your lobby right now. I'm going to wait a little bit and see if you get back to me, because I'm sure I'm not getting the runaround, and that BRIAN KATZ wants there to be accurate and complete answers to these questions. So again, my number is 513-289-4341, and it's Chris Hicks with the Watchdog Wire. They won't make appointments. They're trying to hide. So we've been doing an investigation on what happens is you have like politicians that were connected with the Larry Householder bribe scheme, where the Election Commission has held that their finance reports were inaccurate and incomplete. And so they get fined, but then the Secretary of State's office does nothing to make the people fix their campaign finance reports. So it's like I've been a low priority thing. I just happened to be in Columbus today. But going back 3-4 months, there's been a series of inquiries and they evade, and this guy BRIAN KATZ just kind of runs away. And I bumped into him in a meeting. He was at the Election Commission meeting today, BRIAN KATZ, and then he told me I need to talk to this guy named BEN KINDEL. I'm like, I'll go over there since you're directing me. But they're trying to avoid any interviews. They're not trying to. I get it. So do you work for is this whole building the Secretary of State? Oh, I was going to say, so you work for the building or for the building? Okay, so yeah, you're just like the front desk at the building. It's not your job to worry about them.
A few moments later.
So the BRIAN KINDEL number on the website is a different area code entirely, 440. So I'm thinking that might be a mobile. So I have messaged him, also telling him that I appreciate that, probably BRIAN KATZ didn't even tell him about media requests and inquiries dating back months. So let's see if he gets back to me or if he shows up. I don't think the cleaning person is him.
A few moments later.
All right, so I guess BEN KINDEL is not going to show up here at the Secretary of State's office. Hopefully he'll get back to me because, as we know, they're certainly not avoiding talking about the issue of why they cover for people that have had serious campaign finance infractions with incomplete and inaccurate reports by not forcing them to correct those reports.